at PolinFronosPhoto.com, and I have an AdoramaPix rapid fire critique here from Carmine, who is somebody that I met during the Zack Arias seminar that he held at my place. Now, if you guys would like to submit your photos for the rapid fire critique, please click Submit Photos, and then under Rapid Fire, type in all of the information that it asks for, and then submit it, and maybe I will pick your images to critique for an AdoramaPix AdoramaPix rapid fire critique. So here we go. We've got a cool shot right here. I think this would be a good advertising type image. I like the lighting. I like what's going on, how there's, you got the light back here and you've got the nice shades of this, whatever the heck these berry thingies are. I like that, it doesn't bother me that the glass is partially cut off because the important stuff is the lemons here, the glass, the stuff that's in it. Now, what you want to be very careful about when doing advertising shots like this or these type of things is that everything is uber-duper clean. Like the whole glass is clean, that you don't have things like this sticking out in the image. These are things that a lot of people would touch up and post these days because sometimes you can't get these you can't get the shadows and glare out, so a lot of people do that in post. If I was to do this type of photography, I would probably send the image to somebody else to take care of that, as that's not my thing, but if the job called for it, I would have somebody touch it up and make it happen. So I do like the shot. I like the colors, the white balance is right on, and I like the framing. Nice job right there. So here we have let's see, Good Old War. Let's see what this is taken at, because I can probably give some feedback. Rebel T2i with 1/100th of a second, f2.5, 50 millimeters, 1600 ISO, which probably means it's a 51.8. Does it tell me here? It tells me it's a 51.4. So let's go back a little bit. 51.4, 100th of a second. Okay. I know I'm lost for words here. He left it in color, but I don't think that this image works in color. I think you have to go black and white at this point. I'm sure, sure there's that pink glow and things like that, but I don't think that's strong enough. I think a black and white image, a conversion of this, would make it much stronger. Now, 2.5 at 1600 ISO, it's a T2i. I'm not sure how much higher you could push that, but if it had the increments like 2000 or 2500, maybe I would shoot this at 2500 ISO, get a little bit more shutter speed, like 1/25th at 2.5, 2.8, something like that. But I think this converted to black and white would make it a much better image instead of being like, oh, okay, it's blue washed, and there's a couple of, and the pink looks cool. But other than that, I think the black and white would be really banging and make for a good shot like this. So we've got a wedding shot. Now, this is a pretty interesting cross-section of images. I'm not a big fan of the heavy backlight right here. I think if he turned the other way, like Carmine, if you went down the hill or moved them towards where you're standing, then I think it would be stronger, because I don't like the big backlight. It takes away from the focus of them. It gives it a little too much of a glowy McGlowerson look, and I prefer, with this type of light that's coming in from the background, it would have looked golden colorful right on them. If you reversed it and you put your back to the glow and shot into them where the light is just hitting them, that would have been, the contrast would so pop, because this is golden hour. So I'd like to see that. We've got the feet shot. This is nice. As part of a story, it's going to work. I think the colors are fine. I like the shot. Yawn. Excuse me. But I think it works well in a photo story, and I think that's what we may have here from some of the images. This is really good. This is, what's it say? Sean Enright, mixologist. I like the combination, for a portfolio to put two of these images side by side. You've got the portrait and you've got the you got the drink right there. This is a really nice portrait. I think maybe a little more kick in the face, a little brighter there would be good, but I love the separation from the background. I like what you did here with the one light off to the side, filling in. It makes it nice that you can still see the bottles, and the lighting on the shelves is really nice too. It's a nice touch, and this works really well hand in hand with the image of this glass. Now, I don't know if the focus is right here on the ice, because it doesn't look like this is nice and uber sharp. I don't think this will be able to tell me what it was taken with, because I don't know how it would tell me, because I don't think they're taken in the same picture. So that would throw me off. I don't think they can be taken in the same picture. But I would like to see this sharp and the ice sharp. Sure, the background's going to blow out, but if this glass isn't uber duper sharp, like the edges of it, then I'd like to see that more sharp. But I do like this combination. Nice job right there. I don't like this at all. I'm just going to flat out say it. It's too dark. Too much. It was like blown out. I can tell you when it was shot. Let's take a look. T2I again. 1/160th of F8. 400. All right. I don't think there's much you can do to save this. If you brightened it and blew out the background and everything, it would be better. But again, shooting with the strong sun here, you're shooting into the shadow area on the other side, and it's too dark. She looks too dark. It just looks not, it looks painful. Again, rotate. You go around the other side, shoot away from the sun for this. I'm not saying that in all cases, but I don't like the shot. It's too dark. It's too dark, and I don't think there's anything you can do to clean this one up. Okay, so we've got a baby shot. I like this. I like the light is on the baby's face. I like that the kiss is happening here. You've got the mother and hopefully, well, not hopefully, but possibly the mother and the father. The composition is very nice. I like that her head is over here. His head is over here. The light's coming in. Boom, right on the baby. It looks very good. Like that. Nice job. Not so much a fan of this. Too much dead space between the hair and the eye. And the kissing of the baby. It's just the angle, it just doesn't work for me compositionally. So it's just there's too much hair in her face. You can't really see her eye. It's not one of those shots that's like, wow, that's a really good baby shot. Now, this is a better baby shot because it's a clean shot of the baby. It's just too busy going on with all this hair right here. That's just my honest feeling with that. That is such a little baby. Compositionally, first things first. This here is one of those things that you'll start to cut off. So if you put up your hand and block from here down, you'll see that it makes the image stronger because this is distracting over here. This is a little distracting. So if you see that in the frame, just recompose and do it. I think a black and white could do this better. The green background's a little interesting for me. But again, there's not a lot of emotion here. It's the nose touching the forehead. If he was kissing the baby's forehead, now I know the baby can't keep their neck up at this point, but maybe just a little bit different, or just holding him up close to the chest would be really cool. Or just holding the baby over his shoulder and just getting those really tight shots of the baby sleeping could be pretty good too. Baby looks spooked. This wouldn't be one that I would use. And you got to be careful with using flash with the newborns and all of that. But it's just a little over the top. For me, it's too bright. Baby looks like, woo, hey. So yeah. Again, I don't like this one as much. Okay, so this is interesting. It depends on what you're going for here. It's a family portrait. I love the fact that the baby's looking up at the dad, but if I'm going to be honest, what I get from looking at this photo is she's sort of smiling in the background and he's looking not happy. And it kind of gives me the feeling like, I'm not happy, I have to do this. So that's the feeling I'm getting out of this photo. I don't know what everybody else is getting. In terms of lighting, it's good. In terms of the composition, it looks good. But that's the feeling I'm getting out of the emotion in the face, because you can have composition, you can have the lighting, you can have everything right, but if the emotion in the face is thrown off in any which way in an image, then it's all for naught. But unless this is what you were going for, he doesn't look happy. You figure it would be something that would be happy. So there you go. Now he's smiling. He's much happier. Now I want to see what lens this is, because I'm going to venture to say it's like a 24, a wide zoom. 18 millimeters. Yep, it was a wide zoom. You can tell it's what lens is it? 18 to 55. So when doing portraits, you want to be very careful with this type of lens. You see the bowing of the face, how it's expanding it. That's hurting me a little bit. This is if you had room to do that 50, it could work better. Or it's just looking a little oblong, but I do like the processing in this. I like this much better than the other one because he's smiling. But what was this one taken with? Because I like the focal length of that better. That was 18 also. So 18 horizontal seems to work better for these images than the 18 vertical. So similar to the first one, I like the smiling here. I would change the composition up if you can redo that at another point. All right, I know this shot doesn't do much for me. Again, strong backlight. And now guys, I'm being honest when I look at these images, just giving my feedback, because this is how people get better, and this is how I got better, listening to feedback that I didn't want or didn't like, but I still did it anyway. If I was to try to save this image, I would go black and white. But again, shooting into this light, it's a little more difficult to there's not much interest in this photo. There's not a lot of emotion. There's not much going on. And I look for things going on in images to make them stronger. Like I just said before, it could be the greatest composition, exposure, lighting in the world, but if the interest isn't there or the emotion isn't in the image, then it's not really as strong as it could be. Now this is much stronger. This is a heck of a lot stronger. I like this. I like how you've got the girl laying here on the shoulder. You've got the beard, the mustache, the other person holding her. This is a really nice, this is more emotion. This is what I'm talking about. This grabs you more. In terms of sharpness, I can't tell if this is sharp or not based off of this upload. 1/80th of a second 50 at 2.8. It should be. I like this. Good processing. You know that I lean towards more contrast. Now, I don't know if that would work in this image, but I do like this image. Nice job here. I would also like to try one in horizontal to go along with it, where it would be cutting off right above his nose or right below. It depends on how the composition looks, but going something like this, just getting the face is good. But I also like that there's the wide shot. I do this a lot when I shoot, is I shoot some wide, and then I'll work my way into a tighter shot, so I'm covering all bases. But I do like this. This is what I'm talking about with the emotion. I like this as well. I like that it flows. You've got a person over here, you got a person over here taking away from the image, and you've got the two kids holding each other's hands right here, smiling. It's a little blown out, I think, in the face. That could be brought back, but I like this much better. Another thing you could try is a lower angle. Try getting on a lower angle so that you can be on the same level as the kids. So I like this angle, but I'd be interested to see what a 50mm shot with your 1.4 would look like from a lower angle of the two kids focused in right on them. This is very strong. This is really good. I like the light on the guy on the left. I like the light on the guy on the right. And this is what I'm talking about. You get those tighter shots followed by a wider shot. You see how well it works when they go hand in hand inside a book. This is great for a portfolio. And I'm going to go through this at the end and go through the shots and say which ones are the strongest. But this is great. I like this side-by-side thing. I really like seeing that. It helps tell... You know, I learned, not the hard way, but I learned back in the day that I shot everything tight. And I know I've said it before. I've shot things tight, and when there was no interest, it sometimes takes away from the interest. You know, if you don't know the scene, then a tight shot's just another tight shot. It's kind of boring. This shot is not boring. There's emotion in it. And then when you put it next to this shot, they work very well hand in hand to create interest. Very nice job. So we've got more. This is telling a story again. This is a very, very nice wedding montage. You've got the flowers, the girls here, and then the food. It works very well. I'm not sure I like cutting off their heads, but it is what it is. I think it works well hand in hand, that if you showed this to a wedding client, that they would be very happy to see this. Moving forward, another nice one. We've got detail, we've got emotion, and we've got this thing going on here. So it's telling a story. I love the fact that the triptychs are here telling a story. I like this. It really, really works well together. I like the composition here. I like the composition here. Cutting off the side of the cake, I don't know if that's hurting me or not hurting me. I'd like to see what it would look like with all of the cake in there, but nice composition on the hands. And that takes us through all of those. Let me go back to view all of these. Hold on. I'll get there. Let me hit close, I think. Yep. These strongest images in this group. This is strong. So, you know, what's strong? That's strong. And then the last couple were really strong. Boom, 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 and boom. Oh, and this one too. We're strong. So what I'm going to say here is that, Carmine, your strongest stuff is when you're telling a story and doing it really well. I love what you did with those triptychs or the ones with two images next to each other. They tell stories very well, and it's great to see that you're doing the lighting stuff that Zack was teaching. I think you're very, very good at that, and you're getting emotion out of those setup images, which is sometimes harder to do than trying to capture those candid ones. But the feedback I'll give you also is when you're capturing candid moments is wait for that emotion to show. If you just take a picture, like something like this, like I wouldn't put this anywhere unless it was I had a baby, I'm upset, and this is what happens, now I'm living the life, I'm doing what I need to do type of shot. That could be a very good editorial shot. This is a shot that I wouldn't show because it just, to me, it doesn't work based off of the look on the kid's face. But I think you've got some strong stuff. I love your setup stuffs. I love that they're candid yet posed. You know, they've got that set and good lighting that you're working very well with. So really nice job. I hope you take it that this isn't being too harsh, but you take it as, you know, good corrective feedback. And I thank you for submitting this. And that's it, guys. If you'd like to submit your images, please click Submit Photos, Rapid Fire Critique. Submit them, and maybe I will see or you will get to see me do your photos next time. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.